Welcome to House of Origin. I'm your host, Eddie G. And today I have Jalelisa, that's it,
You said it
Jalelisa,
right.
yeah, from Wyandotte County. And she responded to my post on Craigslist. And she has a really interesting story. It takes place back in Wyandotte County in Kansas. And it's about this district attorney named Mark Dupree. And there's a lot of shady stuff going on with them, and I'm sure it doesn't just start and end with him. There's a murder case that's also involved in with Mark Dupree, and she wants to go ahead and just stand up for herself and bring awareness to these issues like not a lot of people would. I think a lot of people read this kind of stuff and think that would never happen to me or that would never happen here. And you realize that this kind of stuff happens everywhere, and people just don't know about it yet. So please, if you could introduce yourself to the show, and thank you for coming on.
Hi, my name is Jalelisa Jeffery. Like you said, I'm from Wyandotte County, and I'm basically here to give a voice to everyone there in Wyandotte County that has been experiencing the things that I have experienced there, and let them know that you can stand up. I'm standing up.
Good. So tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up there.
Growing up in Kansas City it was pretty neutral. It was fun. I didn't have like any really bad stories to tell about Kansas City. I mean, like I said, I grew up in Wyandotte County. People have like a rivalry there between Kansas and Missouri, and that's what builds it, is because people don't even really know Kansas, and that Wyandotte County is Kansas City, just like it's Kansas City and Missouri. So, we grew up as kids playing basketball. We even had neighbors. Like, we had a neighbor named Boo. And, like, he would sell snacks on the corners for us. Like, he would get all the kids involved, take us to drive-thrus so we could go see what a drive-in was like, And then eventually he branched out enough that he started an ice cream truck, and he would help put some of the kids to work in the neighborhood, things like that. So we grew up with a normal life.
Yeah. And how long did you, so you said, you mentioned before we got on that you're in Dallas now, and when did you go to Dallas?
I moved to Dallas in 2016, March of 2016.
2016. Okay. So pretty much your whole life, essentially, you lived in Kansas.
I lived in Kansas.
Mm-hmm. And what did your parents do?
Well, my father passed when I was 9 years old. Unfortunately, my mother, my mother raised me with my grandmother, but she did have a stint where she did go to prison for a little while. My grandmother finished raising us. And so that would be like the shift in my life where I would say, like, I was still a good child, but I like kind of did what I wanted to. I wouldn't say like necessarily just bad, but I wound up being a teen mother. At an early age.
And so was your grandma really strict, or was she more just kind of like hands off?
Well, my grandmother was strict, but like I was smart. Let's put it like that. As for my grandma to be strict, she would have to be able to figure out what I was doing first. And I did so well in school that nobody really paid attention to what I was doing. So I pretty much stayed out of trouble, if that made sense.
And what was it like becoming a teen mom?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was ready for it, but I took it head on. But because my mother was in jail and it didn't really go well with my grandmother when she found out, I did end up in a group home for a little while, which it helped us. Like, I would say that me and my grandmother's relationship did kind of like, it did kind of like melt out, because me and my grandmother, we were like glue and paper. We were always together. And which we did all the way until she passed away. We were still together. It's just like our relationship wasn't as deep. Like, for how this happened, she did not know. She was totally unaware. And even when she found out, she didn't believe it.
And So what were summers like there?
Great. That's what you wait for. It's so cold up here. Yeah, that's what you wait for. It's summertime.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
summertime is
And
fun.
then,
That's football. That's basketball. Kickball tournaments. We make neighborhood kickballs games and have those all day. That was such a big thing. Kickball is such a big thing up there that I wanted to make a kickball league down here in Dallas and start it down here in Dallas and like do it from
I've heard of a
kids to
few. I'm
adults.
down here in Houston. Yeah, and I've heard of a couple of leagues where they do stuff like that during the summer.
Yeah, have a little family time, keep the kids out of the streets a little bit. Because with all the families and like I said, I would do it in an age bracket basically, and that would keep us there from sun up to sundown. That's the whole weekend. You can poop those kids out.
Yeah, and so I guess now we can get into what you wanted to come onto the show about. Give me a little bit of background on what happened or how you became involved in learning about this story and this district attorney.
Well, I started dating his nephew, Glen Blount Jr. And I started talking to him around March of 2014. And at first, it was like a real slow build up, but by May we decided to, meet up and start talking to each other and start dating. About a month into it, there was I wouldn't even say an incident. It was just a time where we were sitting talking with friends, and one friend asked, "Oh, how long have you been dating?" And I'm like, like a month or so. And he's like, when that happened, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, okay. So I ghosted this guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't talk to him for maybe a month or so. And then eventually he starts calling my phone. And he's thinking that the reason why we hadn't talked was because apparently he had broken his phone. So that's the reason why he hadn't even tried to contact me the entire time. But by the time he got another phone, he contacted me. And then he was unaware that I was upset about that incident, basically. And so he asked me to come talk to him, give him another chance, let's talk. But by then I was talking to somebody else. But I let him, talk, tell me how he felt about things. And he started explaining to me about his family, how he grew up with his stepsisters and they had lived together their whole life, things like that. Just good stuff, nothing bad.
Yeah.
And so he was just saying he didn't want to rush into a relationship again because, he's only had 2 serious girlfriends. And he, I told him, I was I wasn't rushing into a relationship either. You said dating. Dating is one thing, a relationship is a different thing, type thing, right? So.
And how old were you at this time? What year was it?
This is 2014, so I would have been, this would have been right before this was right in between my 24th birthday. So this was,
okay.
We celebrated my birthday together, and then this incident happened, and then I ghosted him, and then he came back.
Okay, got it.
By that point, we were talking enough that he comes over to the house with me, and we're talking, and the guy that I was talking to that I started dating after I ghosted him is he's an old childhood ex, basically. Somebody I dated puppy love type of thing, right? And so he had disappeared too. I hadn't talked to him for 2 weeks. So at this point, I didn't really want to deal with nobody, but I was letting Glenn talk or whatever. But by that point, I guess the other guy had been, come to find out, he wasn't gone anywhere. He had been in the apartment next to me around by me the whole time. And so when he saw me and Glenn enter the apartment, that's what made him come over, and he pulled a gun out on Glenn, and that's when I kind of ended the relationship with the other guy. Yeah, because he pulled the gun on him and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's not cool. My kids live here and all that type of stuff. You just went too far, so I told him to go away. And that's what led me back to Glenn that time.
And was that the first time that you ever encountered that kind of situation where a weapon was pulled out, or something violent like that?
As far as weapons, yeah.
How did that make you feel to be in that situation?
I said I was upset. Like I said, I had kids. My kids weren't home when it happened. It was just what if they were type of deal. Yeah. And then to see that you're a hot cannon like that over, I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. I don't know where you at, where you been. I don't know. You done come in with an explanation, anything like that. You just show up upset because you see me with the guy that I was talking to previously and you knew about him. So, yeah. That was a red flag for me. I just wanted to cut all ties with you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were able to, and it didn't escalate like you hear in so many other instances and situations like
I'm
that.
glad it didn't either, because that guy is currently serving, I'm pretty sure, a life sentence now. He murdered 3 people.
Oh, man. Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of times they show signs.
Yeah,
right?
he showed the signs, and that was the red flag for me to cut ties. So to find out 3 years later he murders 3 people, hey, at least I trusted my gut.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people have that gut feeling, but they're like, I don't. It could be something else,
And Glenn didn't give me that good feeling at first. That's the problem with him. I never got a good feeling from him. What happened was I did ignore. I wouldn't even say ignored. I didn't see the message request on Facebook. I didn't see those. And somebody that had tried to warn me already, and I didn't know.
Oh, wow. Oh, so people were messaging you to tell you maybe not to date him or not to talk to him.
Yes. The reasons why. And by the time I got those messages, I'm just now finding out I'm 4 weeks pregnant.
Oh, man. So how long were you guys together before you got pregnant?
3 months.
3 months? And so then, so what happens then?
At first he wanted me to get an abortion. And, I kept telling him, like, I don't have to get an abortion. I'm like, you can just leave. Like, I don't have to deal with you at all. I'm fine with you not being around at all. But after a while going back and forth with it, he, like you said, he wasn't having that. If I was going to have the baby, he was going to be a part of her life, the baby's life. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty much the end of the relationship. It was him wanting an abortion, me telling him I'm not getting the abortion, but you don't have to stick around. And me telling him that I'm pretty much done because I just found out some pretty troubling information from you. I was like, you would think it's enough for me to get an abortion, but it's enough for me to say, no, I just don't want you in my life.
Yeah. So he gave you some information, and that's what kind of changed the trajectory of the relationship for you.
The ex-wife gave me the information. That's what changed it.
Oh, okay. So tell me a little bit about that.
So apparently the ex-wife and the baby mother that he was leaving when he was talking to me, when he first met me, he had 2 kids with her, and he was living with her or whatever, but they broke up. And that's apparently when I came in and I met him. Well, the ex-wife and her are friends, best friends. And so they inboxed me to let me know that, hey, you do know that you're breaking up a happy home, and that he has a baby by his stepsister that he grew up with, that was raised with, and that his brother has 2 more kids by the same girl. And they let me know that the older brother had 2 kids with her first, prior to him having a baby with her. And that the grandmother, his mother, had molested the cousins on several occasions. And
so it's just like a widespread problem.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was way too much. One thing my grandma always talked about with us was incest. And so for her, that's like a big red flag when you find out about incest. You try to get away. I mean, I don't know how to really feel about it, but to find out about the incest, yes, that was ready. I was ready to go. I didn't want nothing to do with him because now I'm confused. But I went to ask him about it because I wanted to hear what he had to say about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, at this point, we're not together no more. I'm telling him I don't want to be with him no more. But this is before I got those messages. So when I got those messages, that's when I told him, I said, yeah, after what I just read, I definitely don't want nothing to do with you. When the baby is born, don't even reach out to me. Don't come around. And he was
what was
like,
his response?
He was like, what did you hear? What are you talking about? I was like, apparently you got a wife and you didn't even bother to tell me that you're still married. And he immediately knew. He was like, oh, just wait. He was like, can we talk? I'm like, what is there to talk about? I'm like, after the stuff that I just found out, I'm like, I really don't even want to be associated with you. And so he's like, no, I really need to talk to you. I really need to explain it to you. He was like, this is something that needs to be explained. face to face. This ain't nothing that needs to be done over the phone. He was like, this is serious. I seriously need to sit down and talk to you. So we met up in a park across from Juniper Gardens. And that's when he explained to me that everything that they told me was true, but it wasn't like what they were making it. And so he explained to me that his brother did have 2 kids by her, that they had been adopted out because the brother is, unfortunately, he's a pedophile and they don't think he's mentally stable. And they scared that the kids would present those same problems. So because they've already had problems with a few other kids, they didn't want to take those kids in too, and they have problems and they had to deal with them too. So they had those kids adopted out. But the one that Glen Jr. had by his stepsister, his mother kept that baby. That's Queen. They've been raising her. She's, I believe she's 18 now and in college. And so my daughter has now taken her place, is like being the babysitter, watching, take care of the kids, stuff like that. Because he doesn't have these kids. These kids are normally with his mother, you know?
Yeah.
And so the stepsister and Glen Jr. having a baby together, Glen said that it was innocent, that it was because he was in love with her. That was his girlfriend. Like, he wanted to marry her. But would nobody in the family allow him to do it because they was raised together? That was his stepsister. That they were going to see to it that she wasn't even around anymore, in which they tried everything they could to keep her away, which in most instances she did stay away. Like I said, they did her really bad, man. I can't even imagine half the stuff they did to her, but one brother has her doing dope right now. They're doing dope together as we speak. And he's, in my opinion, he's just not old enough to be even acting like that. He's younger than me and I'm 35. To be walking around snorting dope instead of taking care of your kids and your uncle is the district attorney at that, it's just crazy. To me, you got so much to live for, so much opportunity, and you just wasting it.
Yeah, I can't imagine how much pain she carries, from all that trauma.
All that trauma, that girl is really, really messed up, man. They did a number on her. When I always say we lucky we got away, she kind of got away but didn't, if that makes sense. She really didn't, because like I said, the first time she got away was because Billy went to jail. But Billy sent Glen back and told him, hey, watch over her. He's like, she get a little wild. And he like, what? He's like, she get a little wild. He was like, that's when, in his mind, she needed God. So he was going to try to get her on the right track and make her into a wife. And he said he couldn't do it. He tried. He said all she wanted to do was basically be in the streets. So he gave up.
Okay.
But we're talking about his stepsister.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really heard about a situation like that, but I can imagine it happening. There's like this, I can't even remember his name. He's a director, I think. What's his name? Andy something. And he ended up getting with his stepdaughter that he adopted. And I think they have a kid together. He's a famous director. I think he's Andy something. And I think they made a documentary about it. And it's just weird. How do you raise a kid from a baby and then decide I want to be with this person? It just doesn't make sense.
I don't get that either. Like, for me personally, I don't get. Kansas City is so small that you walking around, this my sister, this my sister, this my sister. Just turn around and have a baby with her. What are you gonna tell people? But we already know what they do with what they telling people. As far as anybody really knows, her mama don't exist.
And so from there, what happens next?
Like I said, basically, he's trying to get me to understand that all of this is okay. And I was like, no, it's not. I'm like, explain to me about this molesting thing. And he's like, nah. He's like, it's because they telling you something that they shouldn't have told you. Like, that's something that happened between my mama, but that's not what happened. And I'm like, what you mean? What happened then? He was like, she didn't molest them. And at this point, talking about his cousins and the stepsister. Apparently, the stepsister and one of the cousins were caught trying to have sex. And that made the mother highly upset because they're two girls. And so he explains it that she took a pencil and stuck the pencil in both of them, showing them that this is how you have sex. This is how you have sex. Two girls don't bump together. Yeah. And she later reiterates that story but she told me, she said, I don't know where this pencil thing came from. She was like, nothing like that happened. She was like, I put on a glove and I showed them this is how you have sex. She was like, I can understand how that might sound bad. She was like, but they were in trouble. You know, what did you expect? I had to teach them. That was her explanation for it.
Okay. And then, so is this how you met Mark? No,
I would meet Mark after. I didn't meet Mark until after. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even call that a meet, because what happened was I was on the phone. This is crazy. To be totally honest, I've never met Mark. I've never even shook this man's hand. So you know how you actually meet a person, you walk up to him, hey, my name is, or a person introduces, hey, this is my girlfriend. No, that interaction between me and him has never ever happened. Never. We've shared words just because on the strength of I had been going to that church and cooking breakfast after a while. Because when I told him that I didn't want nothing to do with him when I had the baby and stuff like that, his mother could see the rift going between us. But by that point, she had called. Like, she'd been talking to me. We've been talking. I've been talking. I talk to her all the time. I used to go over there to the house and just sit there and talk to her because I wasn't with her son no more. I didn't have a reason to be with her son. But I did help out with his daughter. Like, I would keep her, you know, Halloween, she didn't have a Halloween costume, and he promised her a Halloween costume, didn't take it over there. Mama called me crying, so I got up and got her Halloween costume and took it over there, stuff like that. And that's what made her fall in love with me, because she seen that, you know, despite her son and how he did me, she seen that I genuinely did not care. That I'm just genuinely a good person. If I meet good people, I'm still going to be there. Nothing's going to change how I have a relationship with somebody else based off of how somebody else feels, if that makes sense. Yeah. So there was once he introduced me to his mother, that relationship solidified itself because of the way we were introduced. Apparently he's brought girls over before and they all just walked straight past her. And when I met her, he walks me in the house. She's living with him at the moment because her house had caught fire, which I mind you, that's a whole insurance scam that they pulled. But her house burned down, and so she had to go move in with her son. And so that's how I met her that night, because he wanted to go. He wanted to go home, but he was going to go get something. But it led him to have to go in the house and stay for a little while because, like I said, his mother kept his daughter. And so he's like, oh, man, can you feel like coming up? He was like, I'm sorry. I just keep walking. When we go in, keep walking. Don't say nothing. Just keep walking. I just kind of looked at him and was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I don't do that. He was like, no, for real. Just keep walking. Don't say nothing. You're not understanding. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we walk in the house, and that's exactly what I did. I looked at his mother, and her friend was sitting there with her, or her cousin or something like that. And so I told her, said, hey, I'm Jalelisa, and introduced myself to the other lady. They both, you know, just stop. And I'm confused. I'm like, why y'all mouth open? And she's like, no, girl, come sit down. They made me sit down. We have a whole conversation because I'm the first woman that he done brought in his house that spoke to them. She said I was raised right, obviously. So that's how that relationship was formed, to when I said I'm done with her son. Me and her were like mother and daughter pretty much. Yeah. And that's the reason why she opened up and told me so much.
Mm-hmm. And so you have this petition that you created it?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So the petition is started because of, like I said, in December of 2016 or 2014 is when I found out about Deleisha Kelley being dead. And I had a feeling something was happening because he tells me Billy is calling, he got to go. And I'm telling him, don't go over there. You don't need to be over there. Because by then, now we know that this girl is over there. And I find out they knew the entire time. I'm now finding out she's 15. And it's because I go through his messages on Facebook. He left like I said, he keeps breaking his phone. So he was logging into Facebook on my phone. One day he didn't log out, and I just so happened to go through his messages and saw the girl messaging him. And that's how I found out she was underage. And so I confronted him about it. Well, that night, I can't say that night. I don't even know how much time transpired between me saying something to him when I found out about the girl to Billy calling him that night. And when Billy called him that night to help him, I kept telling him, don't go. But he comes back the following night And when he comes banging on my door, his hands are like bloody. He's covered in blood. And he's crying. He's got a bottle of vodka in his hand. And I'm telling you, it smells like he's bathed in this vodka. He's that drunk. And so I walk him in and clean him all up, and he keep telling me, baby mama, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, tell me what? And he was like, I gotta tell you something, but you gotta understand that what I'm telling you, you gotta listen to me. I was like, no, I'm not telling you. I'm not listening. If I gotta take it to my grave, I'm not listening. And he was like, yeah, this is something you gotta take to your grave. I said, well, don't tell me then, because I'm not the one that take to my grave. If I can't pass a lie detector test, don't tell me. But I gotta tell you. So his excuse is the reason why he gotta tell me is because he just left his baby mother's house. She knows what they just did, and she's gonna turn them in. He wants me to do it before she does because he knows that I'll take care of all the kids, not just my kids. And he's saying that there's a reward for information on if they turn somebody in about her murder. I'm just like, yeah, I can't take this to my grave. He was like, I know. He's like, that's what I'm saying. But it's going to be a reward. So you tell it so you can get the reward. Because if my other baby mama tell it, nobody's going to see that money. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Well, it wasn't that I went to go turn him in for the money. It was because he became belligerent and abusive even more than what he had already been. Like, we already had been fighting to the point where he was trying to kick the baby out of my stomach. And, like, his mom was trying to call the police on him and stuff. And so I was like, I just don't want to deal with him no more. Maybe he just won't come around because the last time they took him to jail. So I'm, thinking he wouldn't come around. No, he kept coming around. So when he told me that and he get cleaned up, like I said, he's getting now he feeling himself basically. So like he talking crap to me, he threatening me, all that kind of stuff. So that's when I finally called his mama and tell his mama, I was like, I can't take it no more. And she like, what's wrong, Jalelisa? Tell me what's wrong. And I was like, your son. She was like, wait, what about my son? I said, he did something real bad. She was like, wait, which one? I was like, she was like, please tell me you ain't talking about Glenn. I said, it involved Glenn. She said, please tell me it don't involve Terrence. I said, it involved Terrence too. She said, please tell me it ain't got nothing to do with Billy and he done got my boys in trouble. I said, yeah, it's pretty bad. She's like, hold on, Jalelisa. Hold on. And she got off the phone for a hot second. She called me back. She's like, okay, all right, Jalelisa, I think I'm ready to hear it. What is it? And I told her, I said, they murdered somebody. And she just sat there and held the phone for a long time. She's like, what? What? No, you lying. No. I said, no, it's true. It was a little girl over there at the house. She was 15. They murdered her. They dumped her in Missouri. He called Glenn. He called Terrence. They took her to Missouri. She said, hold on. I got to call my brother. Brother is Mark Dupree. So she calls him. He gets on the phone. I'm talking to him. She says, tell him exactly what you just told me. I tell him. So he says, this is what you're going to do. He said, I'm going to deal with Glenn. I'm going to deal with Billy. I'm going to deal with Terrence. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your mouth closed. Not even Glenn, Billy, or Terrence are to know that you are the one that told me. Because we're about to go get Terrence. He was like, you don't have nothing to worry about, okay? He was like, just understand you don't have nothing to worry about. He was like, now Glenn may get into some trouble, but he'll be all right. He's like, but Billy, not so much. He's probably going away for a long time this time. He's like, the only way for me to fix this is for you to be quiet. If anybody asks you, you don't know nothing. He said, we can take care of this and you can stay out of it because I know you're scared. And I told him, I said, yes, I'm scared. I was like, I asked her sister, I said, the reason why I called her is because her son is scaring me. It's getting to the point where he's putting his hands on me so much, I'm scared I'm going to lose my baby. And so she was like, yeah. She was like, brother, it's true. I was on the phone with her one night when he was literally trying to kick the baby out of her. He was like, I could hear it. I could hear her screaming for her life. And she would not give me the address to where she was because she did not want me to put him in jail. Because back then I was so stupid. I would always say, I won't call the police on the black man. I don't want to get him killed. I don't want to get him in trouble, stuff like that. So I was always like not calling the police on him when they put their hands on me. I just tried to get away from him. So that's the reason why I went out here and called his mom and told his mom, because I figured that would finally get him away from me. Well, like I said, he told me, don't talk to somebody, don't tell nobody, I don't know nothing. He'll deal with Billy and Glenn and Terrence. And so I get off the phone with them. And probably, I don't know, maybe like an hour or two later, his mother calls back and she's like, okay, Jalelisa. She's like, it's taken care of. Don't worry about nothing. Terrence confessed. He told us everything. I was like, he really told you everything? She said, he told me everything. She said, don't worry. She said, I hate this for my boys. She said, but don't worry. It's okay. They don't know that you said anything. She said, the way it looks right now, Terrence is the one that told us. That's all they know. And this is fact. I know for sure. Nobody knew that I'm the one that told them except for Miss Ivy and Mark Dupree. Because they never, ever bothered me about that part. I always kept getting on their brother saying, oh, he can't go with us no more. He can't do nothing with us no more. He gonna tell mama. He gonna tell mama. So he wasn't allowed to go around no more as much. You know, when they go do stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking everything is really taken care of because January, like, mind you, this is the end of December that I'm telling this. As a matter of fact, this is a day before New Year's Eve that I'm telling Mark about it. So Mark, like I say, they say he gonna deal with all of that stuff, and Billy goes to jail the next month. Is what I'm thinking is for the girl, because Glenn keep telling me that the detectives looking for him, that they keep asking questions, and Billy keep calling home saying that people keep asking questions and want to know what he know and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what? He was like, yeah, the police looking for us and stuff. And Billy said the police had already talked to him in jail and asked about it. I'm like, oh, so he really in jail. He really ain't getting out this time. He's like, yeah, Billy really gone. He ain't getting out this time. Well, fast forward to the summer of 2015, I'd had the baby and everything now. All of a sudden, Billy pops up at the church. He's out of jail. That's shot.
So how long had it been?
Since January.
So he was out of jail in a couple months?
June. Yeah. By June, he was out of jail. Yeah.
Okay.
Come to find out, he was in there the whole time for a PV violation.
Mm-hmm.
I never even bothered to look it up or anything. I just took their word for it. Yeah. I just took their word for it.
All right. So you find out he's out, and I can imagine you're just shocked.
Yeah, because how you get out on a murder charge?
So when did you find out what he really went to jail for?
When he confronted me at the bottom of the church and told me about Deleisha, about what he did to her.
And he just said, I didn't go to jail for it. I just...
No. He confronted me at the bottom of the stairs. He was trying to touch me. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't do that. And he was like, oh, my bad. It's not even like that. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, Jalelisa. Like, I do, like, kind of like you, but I know you my brother, baby mama, and I know you would never do nothing like that.
So he confronted you at the bottom of the stairs and... Go ahead.
So basically, he was trying to touch me then, and I'm telling him, get off of me. And he's explaining that, I know, I'm just, I like you like that, but I know you not like that, because you got a baby by my brother and all that stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, so, back up off me and stop trying to touch me. And he was like, yeah. That's when he, like flipped me around. He was like, yeah, but I know, I know my brother told you about what we did. And I'm just like, look, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to discuss that. I don't care anything about that. It just, like I told your brother, I can't take it to my grave, so I don't want to know about it. So the less I know, the better. He was like, no. He was like, if he already told you, I got to tell you so I can tell you my side. And so that's when he explained to me how he had, he said that she was coming to him with a knife, and it was either him or her. And he said he couldn't go back to jail again. He's like, you don't know what they do to pedophiles in jail. You don't know the stuff that they done to me in there. He's like, so it was either me or her, and I couldn't go back. He's like, if I let her cut me, I'm going to jail. He's like, so I had to kill her. And he's like, so I broke her neck. And I was like, what, bro? Like, I don't even, like, I'm good. I was like, I could have lived my whole life without knowing that. You didn't have to tell me, bro. I was so good. So at that point, I'm done. Mm-hmm. It's time for me to figure it out and get away. And I go tell his grandma and his mama what just happened. And they said they was doing something about it, but it didn't stop. At this point, this boy is now stalking me, inboxing me on a regular basis, calling my phone all the time, asking me where I'm at, stuff like that. And I'd be like, oh, I'm not at home. He'd be like, you lying. I know you at home. I'm looking at your truck. And I'd be like, what is wrong with this boy? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, at this point, yeah, it's time for me to get away. I start making plans because even his brother, like, he's coming around bothering me too. Like, I mean, you can imagine to the point I done moved on. I'm with a whole nother guy at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, what was Glenn doing this whole time?
He was going back and forth with his child's mother, and he's got another baby mother. He was going back and forth between them two.
Now, whether what happened or what he says happened actually happened, or if it's true or not,
he's been charged and convicted for it.
No, not about what he did, but about the reason why.
The reason why. Yeah.
The reason why, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like the reason why he did it.
Oh no, I was just saying like entering it. Yeah,
Has there ever been more information about? Do they know what actually happened?
Yes.
During that interaction.
Yes. They know she was tied up, bound, and gang raped, and then eventually strangled. But they think that like it went too far. Basically, like they was choking her instead of stopping. They kept going when she was saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." They thought maybe she was just faking or something like that. I don't know, but they don't believe that they intended to kill her. They believe they went too far.
Oh, that's very sad. That's very sad.
It is, because unfortunately the way this child looked, nobody thought she was underage. Everybody thought she was grown when they met her. So that was the reason why all of that was even going on, why they was getting away with it that whole time. Because if their grandma had to find their grandma's, she's passed away now. If their grandma had been here or found out about any of this stuff, oh my God.
So when so he went to jail just for a PV violation.
Mm-hmm.
Did the other two brothers get in any trouble for this? Just walked away like?
They eventually was listed as witnesses on the case. Like, the brother kept calling me, Glenn kept calling me, talking about something. I ain't gonna do nothing. Oh, I'm a witness. What you talking about? I'm good. I'm safe.
Wow.
But that's because the agreement was, because even Billy told me the same thing. He was like, I'm not gonna let my brother go down for me, bro. I'm gonna tell him that I did it by myself. I was like, good luck with that, Billy. I was like, because evidence proved that that's not the case. They know for sure. I was like, the one part that stops you is the fact that you drove her from your house in Kansas all the way to Missouri and dumped her. They know you don't have a car.
Yeah, so that just immediately makes him involved.
Just saying.
Oh, man.
There's no way.
So then after this, after you hear all this and you start putting together the pieces,
I start making plans to get out of Dodge. I start getting my ducks in the row to start getting away from him and move out of town.
And that's when you moved to Dallas?
Mm-hmm. I moved there. That was, like I said, that was around the summertime when all that started happening. Billy got out, I think June or July. And then everything just started getting worse. Like, I mean, everybody was having problems out of Billy. Everybody trying to stay away from Billy. And it's because he has brought this new girl to the church. And he's telling everybody that the girl was 19. Well, I knew the girl. That's what he didn't know, was I knew the girl. I knew she was 17. And he kept trying to lie to his grandma. And his grandma finally came to me and asked me, she's like, how old is that girl? I said, she was 17. I said, he probably met her when she was 16, but I'm telling you now, she is 17. She's about to turn 18. I said, but she is 17. I know her from my daddy's side of the family. And so that's how my mom found out. And that's what started the rift. That's why things got worse, because he said that I told on him. But I didn't necessarily tell on him. I just told the truth.
Yeah.
Because I was scared about what happened to the other girl. That's why I told her. I didn't know that his grandma didn't know about him killing Deleisha at that time. Well, by then, that's when the harassing got even worse. Now, at that point, they can't keep Billy away from me. And my daughter's daddy, Glenn, is now putting his hands on me even worse, to the point where he got caught. He went to jail, got charged, because they called him. He had locked me in the bathroom. He was trying to stab me. And so I managed to get out of the bathroom. When he locked me in the bathroom, I had managed to snatch his phone. He didn't realize I had it. And so I dialed 911 and called the police and had them, they was listening to the whole interaction over the phone. He didn't know that the police was on the phone.
Yeah.
And so they can't find my my door, because where I live at is like a fourplex, but I'm the only one in this fourplex that doesn't have a front door. Everybody has a front door and a back door. I'm the only one that doesn't. So they're steady searching. They can see the address, but they can't see the actual apartment to get into it. So they're trying to find it. By that point, I'm running out of the back door, and he's shaking because I just broke out of the bathroom and got past him. And he swung the knife at me, and that's when I like ducked and like flew underneath him in between his legs and ran. Like when I say I didn't walk down the stairs. I literally launched myself down the stairs. Cause they was carpet anyway, so I didn't really care. And so I just slid all the way so hard. I slid right into the back door, jumped up and ran. And as I was opening the back door, he was making his way down the stairs. As soon as I ran out of the back door, he caught like a little piece of my wrist. My uncle taught me this thing on how to, like, a male can't take your wrist like this. Yeah. So he got the little piece of my wrist, and I did just like that and snatched, and I booked it. As I'm running, the police are coming up on the side of the building to the back. By that point, he's running right behind me with the knife in his hand. He tries to drop it. It's nothing he can do. He screaming at them, I'm trying to get my phone. I don't even have his phone at this point.
Yeah.
I had left it in the bathroom. Why would I need it now? I'm trying to get to the police. Yeah. So that was the end of that. By this point, this is like January, February. No, it's definitely February. This is the end of February. And so he went to jail, finally. But I had some things going on where I got a metal plate in my face and stuff, so I needed surgery and stuff like that. And his mother was helping with the baby, which she had been helping with the baby since I had the baby. He came around, but his mother was the one who helped with the baby. Like, I paid her to watch the baby and all that type of stuff. Okay. And so that particular night, she had the baby and she was scared because she didn't want me to come get the baby. I went and got the baby anyway. And when I went and got the baby, she drove out, I guess, looking for me and wrecked her car or whatever. So at that point, that's when I finally said, forget it, I'm doing what I need to do. And I talked to her. I said, what do you want to do? I said, because it's clear as day, your son didn't go to jail for murder. Now they harassing me, and I'm not staying for it. And I said, I really can't fully take care of my baby. So are you willing, if I get the paperwork set up for you to keep her for a year, can you do it? And I'll come get her in a year. She says yes. I'm like, all right. I'm like, cause she's a little baby. She's got asthma. My mama and my grandma cannot keep up with this baby like my other kids. So are you willing to take her? And she says yes. Mm-hmm. I give her the baby, knowing she's going to take care of the baby good enough for me to be able to come back and get her.
Okay.
Well, so I booked the ticket on a Greyhound, packed as much as I could in 2 bags, and I got on the bus, and I never looked back, really, except for to record him and catch him up, because by that point, everything's hitting the head. The Kansas City, Missouri police detectives are now looking for me. They had went to my other kids' grandmother's house looking for me, and that's how I found out, because the kids' dad called screaming and yelling at me, upset about why is the police over there knocking on the door asking about my other child's daddy. Oh yeah, he was pissed. Yeah. So
now you're in Dallas at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm in Dallas.
And so what happens then, or what
they tell me that I need to get a hold of the detectives, because I had turned in the tip anonymously. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently I must have said too much in the tip, because that led them to start looking for the tipster that made this tip. Mm-hmm. Well, they made contact with me, and that's when the detective was telling me, he said, well, Miss Jeffery, the problem with the tip you made, I said, no, my problem with the tip I made is that you're calling me. That was an anonymous tip. How did you get my information? He explained to me that it's not actually anonymous, that they choose the anonymous. Once we submit a tip, they have ways to figure out who submitted a tip. And that's the reason why they came to find me, because the tip I turned in was information that was never released to the public. Got it. So he's asking me to come in and speak to him, and I'm telling him I can't. And he's telling me that if I don't, then he's going to charge me with perjury and hindering his investigation. And I explained to him, I was like, you're acting as if I'm refusing to come in. Like, I don't even understand why you're saying these things to me if you're calling me because I'm the witness and I'm the one that turned in the tip. I said, furthermore, my daughter is up there with his mother, and if I turn on him right now, that's the reason why I submitted the tip anonymously, so you could go get him, and then I go get my baby while he's in jail, and not have to ever deal with him again. And he's like, yeah, no, that's not how it works. You're going to have to come in and talk to us. So I was like, well, good luck with that. I guess you're coming down to Dallas to talk to me then, huh? He was like, you're in Dallas? I was like, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. These people keep trying to kill me. Her sons are literally, they want me dead at this point because I won't stop talking. And so I talked to this man long enough for him to finally say, no, I don't have a choice. I have to come to Kansas or Missouri and meet with them, or he's coming down here. And if he has to come down here, I'm going to handcuffs. So I say, forget it. I gone ahead and make plans to go ahead and go up there. Because he's now promising that if I go ahead, he's like, the only reason why you're not willing to cooperate is because of your daughter. I was like, yes. I was like, why would I want them to know that I'm cooperating? I turned in the tip. That's good enough, right? He was like, yeah. He was like, it's just a problem that the tip you turned in makes you a witness, a credible witness. So with that being said, he's like, I'm not saying that you would have to ever get on the stand, but you're definitely a witness to this, and this is the only way this case is getting solved. So he's like, you want your baby? I'll help you get your baby. I was like, okay, fine. So I made that trip. I got up there and I sat down with the detectives. They had me go through some papers where they made me tell them what this place was on the map, like full circle. I explained it to them, told them all that. Then they made me write down my statement. I gave them their statement. Then he slapped everything together and he said, come on, let's go get your baby. I said, what? He said, everything you just gave me, you just made my case. Like I promise you. Let's go get your baby. He's like, it's a few things we got to do. He said, we're going to go get your baby. So he took me over there to the Wyandotte County Courthouse where his uncle is hoping to be the DA. Because right now it's 2016 and he's in, the campaign is going on. So he's about to be, we waiting to see that everybody going to go vote November 4th. But in the meantime, it's the end of September and I'm in the courthouse because he's nowhere to be found. And half the staff are not there. And that's how this police officer wants this done because he doesn't want to alert Mark Dupree or his brother that he's actively investigating his nephews and that he knows that he helped him cover it up.
Okay.
So we go in there, do all of that. They go to find the judge, get everything drawn up for my daughter. And he grants me custody just like that with a PFA. And I go over there with a bounty hunter. He took me to go, cause the detective didn't want to go himself. He said he didn't want the mama or the husband to be able to identify him. He didn't want nobody to know who he was investigating the case. So he had the bounty hunter take me up there and we went in there. We got the baby. Shoot. I mean, it's pretty simple. She was in there. Yeah. She was hungover, clothes half hanging off, kids running around. Even that detective and that bounty hunter is a witness. Those were Mark Dupree's kids in that house. We're half drunk, half doped up, because this woman does crack cocaine too. That's who he's paying to watch his kids. The district attorney is paying his drunk crackhead sister to watch her kids. I mean, watch his kids.
Watch his kids, yeah.
Yeah, so they answer the door. We go ahead and grab the baby. She fighting all, oh no, I'm about to call Glenn. Well, she tried to call Glenn. His phone is off. We leave with the baby. I got the baby for 3 days now before he ever made contact with me going off about the baby. By this point, I done been back to court, secured everything, and I'm waiting for them to go ahead and do what they doing in Missouri as far as the investigation is concerned. But now him and his brother are harassing me. To the point where, like, the mother, she wanted to see the baby. She crying. I told her, I said, your son harassed me. I'm not even supposed to be talking to y'all. She's like, I'm not gonna put Glenn in your business or nothing like that. Just, I want to see my grandbaby. I mean, she's crying. She's doing this whole depressed fit where she talking about she about to kill herself. She mentally unstable. She can't see Brooklyn, this, that, and third. So we finally agreed they having a Halloween party at the church that I'll bring Brooklyn up there for like 30 minutes or so, let her visit, and then I gotta go. Like, I don't even want to be around. Like, why would I? Like, y'all know what's going on. So I do that. And she kept promising me that Glenn wasn't gonna be there. Like I told her, as long as he ain't there, I'll show up. And I had my mama drop me off and we went over there. Not even 15 minutes, this dude walks through the door. I said, I grabbed my daughter, grabbed my stroller. I said, yep, that's it for me. I'm gone. And I walk on out the door and proceed to go down the street and get ready to go catch the bus like I intended to when I left there. And before I know it, a van pulls up. It's them. They jump out of the van. They throw me in the van, me and my daughter in the van. I'm now at his house for 3 days kidnapped before I can finally get out. I even got a recording of him talking about it. Right? I promise you. But he body slammed me and everything. His Uncle Mark showed up down there. His mother Ivy showed up down there. Telling the police that, oh, she got a restraining order on my son. She not supposed to be here. She showed up down here banging on his door. So now he got witnesses saying that this is what happened and that's not what happened. You know verbatim that you helped him kidnap me 3 days ago and had me and my daughter locked in this house. And then I just broke out of this house and got out. And the neighbor across the street is the one who just called the police. She's trying to tell them what happened and they don't want to listen. Well, why would they when the man that's running to be the current district attorney is standing right here saying, yeah, no, this is just baby mama, baby daddy problems. Like, they've been arguing and fighting like this. She currently has a PFA on him right now. And he don't, I'm like, well, yeah, cause it's an investigation going. I said, you know what? Cause this man is telling me I can't really talk about it or can't bring it up. But to the police, if I want to, I can tell them. But they're standing around, so I really don't want to. I said, you know what? I can't even get you to talk to me by myself. So if that being done, I don't even want nothing done. I'm just gonna leave. So I grabbed my daughter, grabbed the stroller, because now I can get out. I can leave. What can they do? The police is here. The whole community is out watching. So I get my daughter and we go on down the street. By that point, I had been in that room long enough that I had scraped up $1.50 because that's how much it cost to get on the bus back then. I scraped up $1.50 to get me and my daughter on the bus. Oh, matter of fact, when you said that, have I ever seen a gun incident? No, that was my second one. Because when I got to the bus stop with my daughter, we sitting at the bus stop waiting for the bus, and this guy just sitting there, he listened to his music, just, rapping, not bothering nobody, say hey and everything. Next thing you know, some dude walks up to him, puts a gun to his head, robbed him, and walked right off. My daughter's sitting right there. Man, you talk about scary, I just get on the bus and I go. He broke my phone, so I ain't even got no way to tell nobody nothing. And somebody let me use their phone on the bus, so I called my mama and I finally tell her. And my mama is crying, screaming, hysterical on the phone because she hasn't heard from me for 3 days and she's been calling my phone and can't find me. Like, to the point where she was about to finally call the police, but she just kept saying, I know Jalelisa. And she had that baby, ain't nothing wrong. Something is wrong, I just don't know what. And so that's when I explained to her what was going on and what happened. I told her, I said, this is it, mama. By this point, it's October 30th. I told my mom, I said, I can't stay no longer. I know we was gonna try to fight this here. I said, but it's no point. I gotta go back to Texas. I said, if I stay here any longer, I'm gonna be dead. So I got on the bus and I went right on back to Texas. I told my mom, I said, I'll stay one more day. We can take Brooklyn and we can go trick or treating. And then take me to the bus stop because I gotta go now. So that's what I did. As soon as I got on that bus and left, he started serving me with papers because I didn't go to that court date after that. I explained to the detective.
So I was going to ask, where did the investigation lead after that?
Yeah, I explained to the detective what was going on, and he basically told me he couldn't give me legal advice. And I'm like, well, you just did when you took me to that courthouse to have them file them papers against me, and now look at how this is all turning out. He's like, I know, but I can't give you legal advice. All I can tell you to do is protect yourself, and you can tell me whatever you want to tell me or let me know. So that's where the recording stuff came in, because I started recording him and started sending him the recordings so that he could try to use it against him. I don't know what's going on, but none of this is working no more at this point. To the point where, like I said, now they serving me papers left and right, trying to get me to bring my baby back, and I won't. So the election then came and went. It's now January. January comes and goes. Beginning of February is when I all of a sudden get a knock on the door. I'm not home. I'm gone with my daughter at the boys' school because I got my boys and we went to the school. Because she's little. She's not in school. Something happened up there and I need to go up there and talk to the school. I get up there and talk to the school and my grandma's calling. She's saying that it's a sheriff at the door trying to serve me. And I'm like, for what? And that's when she tell me I got kidnapping papers. And I'm like, what? You can't be serious. Like, what? So I'm looking at papers right here for your arrest for a warrant for kidnapping. And that's when you hear the officer say, let me talk to her. And I'm like, oh, don't get him in that phone because I'm not about to talk to that man. You about to take me to jail. I ain't coming back. He said, no, Miss Jeffrey, I can hear you. If you can hear me, get on the phone because I'm not taking you to jail. And so I got on that phone. I'm like, well, what's going on, officer? He said, look, they done made some pretty serious allegations here. He said, but so far, from every allegation that they made, I walked in this house, none of it's true. He said, that right there leads me to believe something more sinister is going on. He said, you know a Detective Blank? I said, yeah, I do. He said, well, I've already been in contact with him, and I'm aware that there's an investigation going on up there. He said, what I need you to do is go ahead and get to that courthouse and go ahead and file some paperwork. He said, you need to put in PFA, and you need to protect yourself. He said, because if this is what's really going on, those are some powerful people, and you need to watch your back. He said, I'm going to pray for you. And I took that advice. And I had a friend down here that was a lawyer, and I called him and I asked him, what do I need to do? And so he got me in there helping him, doing something about pulling records in the courthouse. And I was doing that as like a community service for him to help me free of charge. And he helped me draw up the motion. And that's how I filed the motion down here in Texas to keep him from trying to take my daughter from me. But we couldn't serve him. Texas tried to serve him well into 2018. Never was able to serve him. That's when around May of 2016, he shows up down here in Texas. Now he's threatening me with that PFA. I'm like, if you feel some type of way, then go ahead and call the police then. You know, if I call the police, you're going to jail. And in my head, I'm thinking, you might be right, because right day, wrong police officer, I'm definitely going to jail because you have a legit piece of paper here that says that I have kidnapping charges. So I'm trying to play the game. I'm like, dude, just do you. He's like, nah. It's like, baby mama, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm down here because that Deleisha stuff is getting bad, and I think we're going to jail. I said, yeah, you probably are. You forget the detective working with me. Yeah, I already called him out on it, but he won't admit it. Well, whatever. At the end of the day, that's what it is. You need to figure out what you're going to do, because I'm leaving. I don't want to talk about this no more. Please leave me alone. So he's staying at his friend's house. He's got a friend that stayed down here in Dallas, too. He decides to come down to my house in the middle of the night because, like he said, you going to make me do something drastic. I'm thinking he talking about calling the police, so I never thought nothing of it. Next thing I know, we wake up in the morning and my daughter's missing. He came through my boy's window and took her out of the bed while we were sleeping and ran to Kansas with her.
So now your daughter's back in Kansas.
Yep. Been there since June of 2016, beginning of June 2016. He snatched her and ran off with her. Some light, it got dark now. Yeah, he took off with her. And I can't get her back. I've attempted to serve him several times. I've been to Kansas, filed the motions to serve him. He won't show up to court. He's unservable. And the judge keeps dismissing it. And as it currently stands, I could expose this district attorney, but no attorney will take my case. Not one.
That's got to be really frustrating.
Yeah, especially when you got a light that don't work. Yeah, the craziest part about it all is the judge is saying that I need a lawyer to be able to come to court. Well, it doesn't make a difference if I have a lawyer or not to come to court if he's not servable. If you can't serve him and even get him to come to court, I can't even proceed no further. She told me she was gonna give me a continuance to try to get him served, and if he wasn't served by the next court date, then she was gonna dismiss the case altogether. So that's what she did. She dismissed the case altogether. Because once again, he was unservable.
And so now at this point, your daughter's back there. And is the investigation still open? No,
it's close. Billy was convicted. No. He was charged with murder in 2023. He was due to go on trial September of 2024. I was due to testify against him from September 10th to September 12th. But I received a call the Friday night prior to me flying out Sunday night to go up there, saying that he was given a plea deal. And I was about ready to get off the phone at that point, so I'm thinking, whatever. But the prosecutor asked me, she was like, were you interested in knowing what the plea deal was? And so I told her, yeah, sure. I didn't think it was something you would tell me, but yeah, sure. You willing to give up the information? I'm game. She says 15 years involuntary manslaughter. I know you lying. How do you go from murder of a 15-year-old child with the DNA found in you? So yeah, I started a petition.
So that's what led to you starting a petition?
Yes, because there's no way that this is not nepotism. There's no way this is not abuse of power. There's no way that he didn't cover this up.
What was the consequences, or what did he have to do? Did he have to go to jail for how long? How many years did he get?
Well, he got convicted for 15 years, and I mind you, during this conviction, he's already on an 11-year sentence because he was convicted of prostituting his current wife. Well, she's probably his ex-wife at this moment, but back then, his current wife then, he was prostituting her for money. And he robbed a John, had drugs. I don't know where the drugs came in play, but they found him with a significant amount of drugs. And he had stole the man's card and his car. Went and withdrew all the money out of his bank accounts. And it was even videos of it. This dude is screaming, "I'm Mark Dupree, nephew. You can't touch me. I'm a Dupree. You know who my uncle is." All the different type of stuff, right? And so, and it's a video on YouTube of his conviction too, or his sentencing. And so he he got convicted of 11 years for that incident. It was kidnapping because he kidnapped the man. That's how he got the money out the man's accounts. He kidnapped the man. Took him riding around town, making him withdraw as much as he could out of the accounts. Took his phone, started recording on his phone. He told on himself. He recorded most of what he did, and that's how he was convicted. And this is the man we talking about. He's currently sitting in there for 11 years for prostituting his own wife. Now you finally got it on the table. Murder for a 15-year-old girl where his DNA as a registered sex offender already was found inside of her. And you're saying that too much time has surpassed to prosecute the case. And that's the reason why you're giving him involuntary manslaughter with 15 years.
Wow. And so did he have to do the 15 years
concurrently
after that 11 or at the same
concurrently
time?
So as it stands, he's been in there since 2019. They already did time served for him, and it is 2025. So he is 6 years well into his sentence. So that means 9 times out of 10, with some type of grace, he's going to be out anywhere from 11 to 13 years. And he's already 6 years into the sentence. It's not going to be very long for him once he gets out, before he gets out.
Wow. And so, excuse me, you start the petition now. What was the impact of that as far as all the people involved?
Right now, we stuck at a standstill. I'm going to be totally honest. You got plenty of people that want to see him go. But the problem is, you got a lot of people that are not willing to see him go for the price they think it's going to cost. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just one victim that's speaking up. There are several others, and I understand that. And I don't really have control over the others. But so far, some of the others that are willing to come forward, they're with me. They are saying the same thing. We don't want money. So, whereas this did take off to a point where, 1, we have finally got Billy convicted. 2, now we are working on a recall to have this district attorney removed from his position.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands, I don't even fully have a willing participant to go in and do a recall petition because I can't do it. I'm not a Wyandotte County resident anymore. It has to be a Wyandotte County resident. I'm the one with the misconduct and the abuse. Unless I can get somebody else to come forward with their proof, like mine, I have more than enough proof of misconduct. If I can get somebody else with the proof that lives in Wyandotte County, then we can use that to have him recalled. But even then, where we stand is he gets a say. Well, I wouldn't even say a say, but they have to let him read and find out what he's being accused of before they even approve the petition. And he gets to answer back to that. And right now, our biggest fear is that he gets to answer back to it and they're not going to approve the petition.
Mm-hmm. And this is the petition to recall, right?
The petition to recall, yes. And so the petition that I'm doing is not the actual recall petition, not the legal one that would get him out. But this petition, if we can get enough signatures on this petition, we can start opening eyes.
Mm-hmm. So ultimately, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Is just to bring awareness and get somebody to hopefully stand up as well.
Yes.
And kind of lead the movement there.
Yes. Because the biggest problem right now is you have other victims that are willing to even go into court, and say, hey, this is what happened to me and this is what I want done, but we can't do anything about it because no lawyer in Kansas City will represent you if it has anything to do with Mark Dupree. And I hear and I understand that, but at some point it has to be like something has to be done, especially when it comes to the bar. He's the president for Kansas. That means he does control all those lawyers, and that's the reason why we can't get a lawyer to represent anybody. He just let an accused rapist go. He had been molesting his stepdaughter from 4th grade until 8th grade. The mother came to know of it by going through the daughter's iPad. She had been keeping record of him molesting her and never told her mother. But the mother, like I said, stumbled on the iPad and she found it and found out. And so she had charges pressed against the man. Mm-hmm. They dismissed him because they said that he didn't get a speedy trial.
Wow. And this is directly tied to Mark
Dupree. He's the attorney on that case. Christy L. Smith, she works in that office and unquestionably somehow keeps moving up. Mm-hmm. Well, documents keep getting sealed and they're being sealed illegally. Her stamp is on it, Christy L. Smith. Mm-hmm. That's Mark's right-hand man. When somebody tried to expose her, I don't remember the woman's name, but when they tried to expose this, she was fired. Well, she quit, but he retaliated. And when I think about that, that's somebody I need to go check in on and see where she's headed, what she's doing, what's going on. Because to be honest, I haven't heard or seen anything from her. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a little concerning. But I mean, the main object is, and the main goal here is to literally get awareness. What I really want is to be able to round up a group of people from Wyandotte County that are legal residents right now at the moment, willing to, one, set up voter registration booths and start getting people registered to vote. Two, once we do, if we can get this recall, I'm not going to say if, it's coming. We're going to get a recall petition. I'm just going to speak it into existence. So once we get the recall petition, if those people that did the voter registration booths would like to help, we got to know anybody that want to help or bring anybody else that can help. We need to be on pavement getting signatures.
Yeah.
So those are my main goals, because we've now already secured an interim DA replacement. If we can get a recall done before his term is done, we have somebody to replace him. We're currently working, hoping to get her independent soon, so that if this does not work out, next election,
she'll be independent. He will not be able to run unopposed again.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is there ever anybody else that goes against him?
Yeah. Last minute write-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he is running unopposed, and somebody will come up as a write-in, and we'll, pump it up as much as we can, but they always come this close and don't beat him.
Yeah. So you just need something to kind of tip the scales over.
Yep.
Yeah.
And right now, when it first started, it started to tip the scales, but the problem was everything was allegedly until September 2024. Now these allegations are no longer alleged. These allegations are a fact.
What do you want to be the outcome of all of this?
The true outcome,
besides him being recalled.
The true outcome, besides him being recalled,
yeah,
I want Glen Blount Jr. in jail for murder of Deleisha Kelley. I want Mark Dupree and Chanel Dupree, his wife, both of them, to be held accountable, tribunal, for what they did with the abuse of their power.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother, Ivy Dupree Bradley, yeah, get her for fraud. Get her for her sons, all those kids, they having kids, and they don't do nothing but try to take those kids from the mothers, and they go take them to their mother. That's fraud when you sitting up here in these girls' faces playing mother to them and then taking their kids. Get Terrence Blount Jr. He may not be a pedophile, but he's definitely a rapist. Mm-hmm. Allegedly. That one's allegedly, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. All 5 of those people in jail and my daughter home, so that I can start rebuilding and healing with my kids. I got 4 other kids that have missed their sister. They have grew up with their sister. All they knew was walking around taking. Now, my 2 oldest girls barely remember their sister. It's been so much time that to surpass, the only thing they can remember is when she was little. I want to start rebuilding. I want to start rebuilding my household. These 4 kids, they know each other. That's a lot. 10 years, that's a lot that they have to. We don't even know if these kids gonna bond.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what's gonna happen with my baby when I do get her back, because that's gonna be a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
But I need my daughter back. All of the incest that has gone on in that family, all of the molestation that has gone on in that family, I fear somebody's gonna get a hold of my daughter. And my biggest problem is
that's a true fear.
Like I said, Billy is due to get out. Billy is due to get out. All he had was 15 years, and he was already serving on the 11-year sentence, and he was already 6 years in on the 11-year sentence when he was convicted. And they decided to run those concurrently. My daughter will not be grown when he is released for involuntary manslaughter on a 15-year-old little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm her mother. I've been very vocal. I'm the reason why he is sitting in that jail right now. I strongly believe, if he can't get to me, he's going to do something to my daughter.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next is you've got to be afraid of retaliation for bringing awareness to, but it makes you strong.
I was about to say afraid, and that's what I was just about to say. Being afraid, when they put you through this much stuff, it don't do nothing but turn you fearless, completely fearless. You're not worried about doing nothing else but trying to get these people for what they did to you. There we go. Finally. I have lied.
Well,
no wonder. It's an LED. Don't steal your kid's room.
Well, I commend you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Yes. Anybody from Wyandotte County that has a story to tell, please stop being scared and come forward. Even if you want to do it anonymously, it's a team of us ready to help you do it anonymously.
Yeah.
And anybody
and,
else that has a voice and a story that needs to be told, don't be afraid to tell it.
Yeah, and if they're interested in coming on the podcast, I'll be more than happy to host them. If they'd like to share their story or their what they've seen or their side of it.
Yes, sir. So far, I do have a few that were wanting to reach out to you.
Yeah, definitely. Give them my contact information, and I'll be more than happy to set it up. But I commend you. This is an incredible story. I don't think I've ever, encountered a story like this, and I'm glad that I can help in part, just with the resources that I have as far as hosting this platform for you. I hope something gets done. I hope justice is served. I hope you get your daughter back soon, and that all the people involved are held accountable, because there's a lot of victims in this story. There's a lot of victims, directly and indirectly.
Directly
and
indirectly. And more in the making at this point.
And a poor girl lost her life, in a very violent and brutal way. And I can imagine how her family must feel, at the same time.
The grandmother, she found me on Facebook ranting and raving about a week or two ago, and she got on there and she told me, she said, I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, I hope this reaches Wyandotte County, and there's more eyes and ears that are tuning in to what's going on to this miscarriage of justice. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, and I don't think this will be the last time we talk.
Thank you. I really appreciate the chance to have a voice.
Yeah. Other than that, let's keep working to bring justice, to Wyandotte County.
Thank you. Believe me, the citizens, they'll appreciate it.
Yeah. And like I said, into the capacity that I can, I'm a resource for you guys. Other than that, any parting words?
Stay tuned, everybody. It's more to come.
All right. So I'm your host, Eddie G, and this is House of Origin. Thank you for tuning in.